Hmm.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. So,
You communicate. You're a communicator.
yeah, you wanted to talk about what you just got out of the communication exercise that we just did.
Oh, okay. So the exercise that we just did was about me feeling frustrated and turned down all the time because Asttarte is always in a process. This is how I see it. She's always in a process of healing, and I understand that your aunt died and your best friend died and your father died this year. I get that. That's a lot of death, and you're doing all the work. Like you're supposed to be doing for you to heal. And on the other hand, like it's been a couple years where we've been actively, in my mind, and maybe that's my fantasy of like that couples are supposed to make love and every Saturday night or twice a week or
Every day.
every day. My dream, right? But so I find myself having a really difficult time asking for what I need, which is important to know that I need to ask, but mostly it's when I do ask or I do say, okay, I need this or I would like to do this, I felt like you always made excuses. And that's how I heard it.
Right. It's your interpretation.
Yeah. So it's like what I just discovered in that exercise, going back to in childhood, what that reminds me of. It reminds me of, and I'm fast forwarding where I'm at. I don't need to get into details. It's not anybody's really business of the details, but I can speak for me, not about us. I don't really like talking about our intimate experiences. Not yet. What I'm trying to say is that, like, I realized, like, when I was 6 or 7 and my dad left, and I created this amazing abandonment, lifetime's worth of an abandonment, or it created a lifetime's worth of abandonment, that blaming myself and shaming myself for that experience, knowing it now, that that's what it was like for me.
Mm-hmm.
When I ask you to do something with me sexually, or I ask you to have time with you, and you have an excuse in my mind, this is how I interpret it, like, oh, she has another excuse, oh, another grief. And in a way, subconsciously, I might know that it's the wrong time to even ask. All right, this is a new twist.
All right, that's good.
Like, I might be saying, okay, well, I don't really want to be intimate, but I'll try it so that I can go back to those feelings. Because I'm so used to those feelings.
So you can go back to being alone and isolate and disappear.
Waiting for someone to come, feeling shame.
Right.
So I'll ask you maybe at a not a perfect time to say, okay, well, it's time for me can you help me with this, or on a.
And I'm finishing something, or I'm in the middle of something, and yeah, I may stop doing what it is that I'm doing if you were assertive and asked me directly, hey, will you help me with this? Or hey, let's go cuddle. Or hey, I want to hold you. Anything.
And maybe the reason why I do that is because maybe I really have the intimacy problems. All right, so I know this is a new twist, telling on myself, but I didn't really discover it until now that we're talking about it. Mm-hmm. That I just feel that I set it up. Like I set it up for this to happen, and when I'm ready to heal that, what I wanted to say. I'm sorry, I lost it for a second there.
That's okay.
What I really wanted to say is that, like, I have this feeling of when I was in the exercise, like, what did I used to do? Okay, here's what I used to do. I used to go to massage places to get a release. I would have a intimate relationship with somebody that I wasn't supposed to.
On the side.
On the side. and I would act out
Maybe
it.
have a lady come to the house, or you go to their house.
Right, like an addiction feeling. Like
Mm-hmm.
once I gave up the drinking and the partying, and I worked
Mm-hmm.
on myself a little bit, I still needed that, you know, instant what do you call it? Instant gratification rather than
Instant gratification.
rather
Yeah,
than
yeah.
look at myself.
Instant orgasm, which
Yeah,
most people are looking for.
and most people that I never really was a big porn person, but a lot of people are into porn, and you know, any way you want to get off, it's not my business. But I will say that, like for me, what I'm trying to say is I don't have a choice anymore to go out and be with other people because I really am starting to really care for myself and love myself and know that when I do get triggered, it's usually in my brain. Just wanting me to go back to a feeling or something that I was used to for all those years.
Yeah, and you have abandonment at your core, and you have attachment. When your attachment to your initial caretakers was not developed healthy and at your foundation, you before you can really before you see that's what you're doing, you're recreating you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up to be abandoned. And most people will just get frustrated, and instead of looking at their patterns or what they're doing, they'll often go running to another person to make love to, or another tantra practitioner, or another lover, or they'll find somebody to complain to, and then they won't resolve the core issues, and they won't get to the root of where the fear is coming from, or where the feeling of abandonment is coming from. And that, I think, was the original reason that you wanted to start talking, was to share how most people will just go somewhere else. And at the root of it is discovering how we engage with our partner and how we communicate with them and how we respond to what we think they're doing, or what we think they're thinking, or what we think they're feeling, and what we think they're saying.
Mm.
So our interpretation is everything, but without communicating, we don't understand really what's going on.
Yeah, and I think also a big part of it is what you just said about not knowing what our partner's thinking. Like, for me, getting much more in touch with projection and my judgments, that's one thing. But to be in a relationship and say, oh my, she's feeling just like this and I know it and I'm just going to tell her. And then that's going to be a real cause for upset, because then you're going to feel judged. And then you're going to say, what the hell are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. And then you're going to react and you're going to shut down more. So here we go on the merry-go-round. Let's shut down, let's shut down. Now the coolest thing is that I've got enough confidence in myself that I don't go to the brain part where, oh my God, she's going to cheat on me, or oh my God, she's going to be with another person, because now that doesn't really go through my head anymore, and it doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't. I'm not really, like, I don't dwell on that, and my whole life I always was insecure, and that's kind of what pushed me away from everybody.
Right.
And now I feel like it's not that it's not an option for us, but it's just when, like, I'm just learning what it's like to be in integrity in an intimate relationship,
Mm-hmm.
to love you enough to not want to go out and, I don't want to be with another person, but
In those moments when it's not anymore, thank God, but
right.
in those moments when, oh my God, another family member passed away. Oh, here we go. She's going to go down that road again. And you assume that I don't want to be with you because I'm feeling what I'm feeling in a moment. But that moment will change in a second. It may change, in 15 minutes. And then I'll be ready to be close again. But it's all about your interpretation.
Yep. So there we go. In that session, I realized that I can tell my brain to stop when it goes that way, because I'm a strong believer in that we don't, it's just like a windy day. Like we can't control the wind, we can't control the rain,
Mm-mm.
and I'd rather be in love with me so that I can be in love with her.
That's the
It's
only
very
way.
important. It took a lot of hard work to get where we are,
A lot.
and I'd love to share it with people and be there for people. And I know that Asttarte, you're really ready to rock it on now. Like all the issues that we had in the past, we're sort of letting each other be ourselves, and the freedom that comes with that. And then the love, the self-love comes, and then the love for us together as partners. So,
But letting your partner have their process and just giving them space to go through what they need to go through, and not making it about you, and not taking it personally, and not making it mean they don't love you or they don't want to be with you, because that's not true most of the time. They're just having a moment, they're working through what they need to work through, and then when they're finished, they will come back to you because they love you.
so there's hope. All right. Well, that was a good one. I'm really enjoying these exercises. And
Yeah, and then we could do a summary in these videos. So thank you. I appreciate your listening, and we are happy to talk to you. I'm happy to talk to you and meet with you in session. Feel free to comment or send me a message, and I'll get back to you. Okay. Namaste.